Welcome to a Safe Place podcast, everybody. And this week we're going to talk about a controversial topic, one that we've all felt a little bit anxious talking about for obvious reasons. But we're going to talk about the Black Lives Matter movement and all the modalities and variabilities that circle around such a sensitive topic. So we've got Craig and Ryan here with me today, my brother and my best friend. So we're going to move on nicely now to Craig, who's once again this week made some lovely little notes that he's going to run us through.
Right then, thank you, Andrew. So the introduction says this is controversial, and it's sad really, because every belief that we have is controversial because we don't agree.
Yeah.
So we're going to try and put our minds together, our intellect and our experience, and explain some, hopefully, truth, some sort of truth of the fact, and hope that you can open your mind to this point of view. But obviously you have the gift of interpretation. Let's go straight into the subject of what's happened. And the officer killed a black man by keeping his knee on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, guys. Now let's just think about that before we get into the legalities of what's right and wrong. Just think about that. 8 minutes and 46 seconds. That is horrendous, and that is unjust. Not behaviour from the police that are supposed to protect us. And that is the first thing I want to say is that's wrong.
And of course, yeah, we can all agree, can't we?
It's disgraceful, and police officers are just, I feel, are abusing their power. And to do that to a man, I've got no words for it. It's disgraceful. You're supposed to protect and serve, and that's it.
Yeah.
We're supposed to feel comfortable and safe with you being there whenever we need you, or you shouldn't be abusing that sort of power with that much violence to cost a man's life. Is disgraceful.
The abuse of power.
Yeah,
that's exactly what's going on.
The abuse of power.
To be in a position where you can have enforcement behind you, in a sense, the city's police force behind you, justifying an action as cold and as sick as that act.
Yeah. And why would somebody go out and so naively, so stupidly commit such an act? Where does the basis of truth come from, where someone can do that? If you look at the incident, this officer, he doesn't want to go out and commit murder. He doesn't get up in the morning and see this as a thought of, I could do something so horrendous, which has a knock-on effect throughout the whole of the world, with protests and in fact making more racism grow because of this act. He doesn't go out in the morning and think he's going to do this, but he gets in a situation where he loses control of his emotions and feelings and does something that is obvious to the world, unless you're completely stupid, that it's just wrong.
But the thing is, within the police force, you taught this anyway. You shouldn't have a red cloud sink over you and engage in force.
He wasn't a threat anymore, was he? The threat was taken out in a sense that he was unarmed and he was down and he was under police control.
He didn't. From the video also, he didn't resist arrest.
Yeah.
He did comply.
Yeah.
For one, he was handcuffed, and then he was taken over to the next car, and then that's when I saw where he falls to the floor.
And we're moving forwards now, we bring on to the subject of, was that act an act of racism, or was it a distorted way of abusing power and control?
Yeah. Well, the only person that can answer that question is the police officer that committed the offence.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it takes a lot for a person to actually tell the truth in such a dramatic
It does. There'll be fear there stopping him from telling the truth because
Yeah.
he fears what the consequences are if he does tell the
Yeah.
truth. So he'll defend it to his dying breath.
And what
really.
he should do to do the right thing for George Floyd and his family is tell the truth and be honest about why he did it.
The only thing there, and this is where we get into the controversy now, isn't it? Because if you don't, it seems like if you're not fashionable, if you're not agreeing with a huge majority, then you can be labelled the very thing that we're talking about in this officer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
We're breaking down this into, let's say, what if he didn't know? What about if he doesn't know that he is racist? I mean, he could have done it to a black person or a white person, but there's also you say he might not know why he did it. So we break it down to think, right, the projection of the world is racism has happened without the evidence to suggest that, unless there's evidence out there to suggest it.
No, it's been an automatic response of racism in the same way it was an unconscious automatic response by the officer to keep his pressure on that man's neck for 8
And
minutes.
I think this is crucial because this is where, even though it sounds controversial, because we're breaking it down in this way, this is the most important aspect of it, because what we want to do is make sure that nobody is racist in the world via any colour, any sexuality, anything. You just can't attack anybody. But how do we do this? And it's the thing that happened, the incident, that the raw emotions that take place when you are unconscious of your stupid behaviour. And that's the point what we've got to break down, hopefully.
So
today.
the thing is, how could you unconsciously know that you're on the back of someone's neck for 8.5 minutes?
Well, this is the ocean of unconscious behaviour that we're swimming in at the moment, because there are rightfully angered people, black people, that want to protest as a result of that abuse of either racism or power of control that was carried out by that police officer, that are now actively going out and unconsciously acting on that emotion and destroying shops, destroying areas of town, and they look at the officer like he's acting on his emotions incorrectly, while not being conscious of the fact that they're also acting on their emotions incorrectly. It's
Don't
justified
get me
and
wrong, though,
understandable.
there's been some brilliant peaceful protests
Yeah, there has, yeah.
done the right way. Brilliant.
Yeah.
But obviously another guy lost his life due to looting in his shop,
Yeah.
and it's just, there's got to be
It's
ways.
madness, isn't it?
You've got to go the right way
Yeah.
about it.
Well, I've got some notes
you have.
here, right, and this is again controversy because it doesn't go with the general flow, and all the time. Just remember, guys, we never once justify this officer. He was wrong.
No.
But we're trying to break it down to make sure that this madness, this stupidity and ignorance that is in the human race doesn't go into the stuff that's fighting against it, because it can be easily projected into you, and you'll be so blinded you won't realise that you have it in yourself. So let me just tell you a few points that I found out that I think in my belief is wrong, and this is where it seems to cause controversy, and I think it's just home truths and someone being blinded by the truth. Now, the racism actual meaning is prejudice, discriminative, or antagonism, can't say that word, directed at someone of a different race based on the belief that one's own race is superior. So straight away there, we don't want anyone to think they're inferior or superior. However, there is some people that are protesting against this thing that I've just said by doing the same thing. They are actually saying that there is a difference between us.
And again, it's not black people that are protesting, it's white people and black people, or as I often like to say, it's human beings are in a state of a lack of awareness that creates the same thing that disgusts them, and they're projecting it out and carrying out those same behaviours in a sense by hurting people, by destroying things. And it's the idea that nothing is going to change unless we accept that the same darkness and emotions that exist inside of us existed inside of that officer who acted in an awful way and killed that man.
And to someone who I can feel and hear what you say and understand it, because I know in the past I have been brainwashed by society to be racist. I have been brainwashed. This is something that I've had to reverse in myself. I had this wrong belief system by parents, by teachers, by the world. And this racism, I've seen it. I know it exists. I've seen it in so many different experiences.
I think we.
But how do you break that down to someone who is blinded by this, their actions?
Well, it's a difficult one. How do we make somebody aware that they don't see something correctly? And we have to try and find a way of helping them connect with something that they've experienced that they wasn't aware of was existing in them beforehand. So, for instance, they could have thought they was a non-violent person at a point in their life. However, something occurred that triggered an emotion that brought out a behaviour of violence in them. So there was a time in the past where they wasn't aware that that part of them existed. Yet now in their life, as they looking back, they realise that place does live inside of them. So now we're asking you to develop and understand your own experience and project that forward so you can be aware right now that your whole belief system and your attachment to your identity, your culture and your upbringing has fed you a certain amount of information, which is understandable because if you've experienced harsh words or violence from another culture, of course you're going to interpret that as racism. Somebody else can equally interpret that as ignorance on the perpetrator's part.
And there's got to be some line of truth. We can't keep fighting, can we? Ryan, how do you get someone to believe in something that you know is true and you can clearly see it, but then how do you pass that message on to a group of people that just will, instead of hear you, will say you're racist, will say you're not understanding of this crime?
That is a long question.
And I don't think you can.
You can't.
No.
I physically can't give you an answer to that question.
Okay,
because
here's a question you can answer for. I'll do a simple one for you right then. I want you to go out there and only support white businesses. Only 100% white businesses. What am I? Am I racist or not? If I say you to do that.
You'll be perceived as racist, of course you will.
Yeah. I want you to go out there and not have any black friends whatsoever. I want you to stay with white people, family, friends, and never break that circle. Is that racist?
Well, yes, of course it is.
I would say no. I would say what's going on deeper there is if somebody says to you, I want you to not go out and mix with black people, what's really going on inside of that person is a fear. And that fear comes from a lifetime of misinformation, culture and parents that have filled them with that the black person is the bad person. So in that moment, that person feels afraid. And what they're trying to do to tell you not to mix with other cultures is they're trying to regulate their own emotion of fear and keep you in their perceived area of where safety is.
Okay.
Now, we call that racism, but it's not. It's indoctrinated fear that's been inherited by culture and parenting.
So at the moment, there is a wave of support for only supporting 100% black businesses, right? Now, what the point of this is if we want to get rid of this discrimination of inferior race and superior race, then we have to join that gap and know that you can't fight racism if you haven't accepted that racism exists in yourself and you project it into the world yourself.
Right. Yeah.
And you've got to let that go to see what you're saying. Now, I've just got a quote here from an activist, Tamika de Malloy, right? Now, this has been on the Vogue website, Vogue magazine, one of the biggest magazines in the world, probably the biggest. And this is a direct quote, and this is the stuff that I don't like. It says, arrest the cops, charge the cops. In every city, our people are being murdered. For me, the our people are being murdered is a label. It's a label that you're trying to fight against.
And it creates more division, us and them.
And then these stupid, ignorant racists are out there anyway, hear that, and will fight against that. They'll push against that.
And let's look at that stupid, ignorant.
Well, you
So
can't-
our response with somebody that disagrees with us or sees reality in a more simplistic way are stupid and ignorant. And what's going on is, and this is about trying to do what Martin Luther King is saying, is trying to find a way of loving your enemy. It's the idea that we have all been, at some point in our life, unconscious and carried out behaviours that we wished we couldn't, but it happened. And we need to find a way of being able to look at those things that we most want to cut out of our own being and try and find a way of accepting it in ourselves, so we can accept the other that we perceive to be a problem. And by that is we give it less and less attention. Because at the end of the day, our people are being murdered. Instinctively, that activates emotional feelings inside of me, which is, well, white people get murdered in cities too. Yeah. And then already that statement's created that flux of stupid energy to start going me and other in myself.
Yes, and the projection is just pure racism, the very thing that you're fighting against. Now, this got 78,300 likes, right, this quote, and because 78,300 people did not see the racist comment that was said, now that is annoying, and that does get me mad, because you know what, I know where this place ends. If you continue with this sort of language and you continue with this fight where you project racism without realising it, and if anyone says anything different, they're racist and you want to hang them and kill them. If you want to get this officer and kill them in exactly the same way, you've still got the same amount of murderers when you
problem.
kill him.
This problem hasn't gone away.
You can't fight racism with more racism, can you?
No,
it's never going to win.
No,
the only thing is pure and utter love.
Yeah, that's
for each and every one of us.
And that's that is the way it's got to go. But so then, how do we find a way of loving the other that we've perceived to be through, again, experiences? There's black people and white people, in my opinion, and my opinion could be wrong, but this is the way I'm seeing reality, that have experienced direct racism for the colour of their skin.
Oh, the racism is out there.
So when they feel that,
it's clear.
When you see the crime, when I found out about the crime, I mean, I haven't even grown up with the racism happening to me, but when I feel and see that crime, I have that anger and I have that rage.
Do you know what? Do you know what?
It's instinctive.
Because he's human.
Yeah, it's instinctive to me to.
So instead of fighting for one race, fight for the human race.
That's it. And that's where I'll go into again. I know I've said this, I've put this on a Facebook page in the week about we've got to get rid of division and see us all as one thing. Identify the whole of the human race, no matter what colour you are, no matter what you look like, as you. One individual, it's all people, of us. It's not right that it happened to a black man. It won't be right that it happened to a white man. It's not right that kids are being hurt all over the world now. It's not right that certain people with disabilities get discriminated against.
And all these crimes are all linked together. We don't want to just get rid of officers who single out black people and they end up dead. We want to get rid of rapists, don't we? Paedophiles. We want to make sure that these, not that they all get put onto sort of ship and sent to the bottom of the ocean. We need to understand why this happens in us.
There's
and
a level,
and it goes to deep psychology and awareness, doesn't it?
The only medicine to madness is deeply understanding yourself through the modalities of psychology. Those are the only paths that are going to lead us out of this madness. So I think that's going to wrap it up. It's a short and sweet video on Black Lives Matter because it's a really sensitive subject. Do you want to say one more thing, Roy? Go on.
No.
Are you sure?
It's all right. We just send our condolences to George Floyd and his family.
Yeah.
And
we hope that the message, or whatever messages that we're trying to get across, gets understood in a way that hopefully you can see that we can have all of these differences of opinion, but we can still sit down at a table and talk about it with feeling the human frustrations and emotions bubbling up inside of us.
That's it.
So thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.